Well, that was a mistake. Oh my gosh. It's so funny. I had it on loop and I totally forgot that I did. Hey, everybody. So excited to talk about this book right here called No Problem Parenting. For those of you who are parents, have you ever had no problems with your children? I don't know. I had problems. I had plenty of them. And I'm about to share with you one of our authors in the book, Kohila Sivas. She shares an incredible journey through this book about no problem parenting. And Kohila, welcome to the stage. So excited to have you here to talk about this issue.
Thank you,
problem.
Linda.
Problem parenting, no problem parenting, whatever have it. You know, your participation in this book, I love that you bring something completely different to the just to the platform, because the work that you do with helping parents to empower their children, the school system, there's been some stuff going on there throughout the last few years. We got a lot of stuff to dive into today, but we don't have a lot of time. So what I would love to do is I want you to share with me something you were sharing with me before we went live, and you were talking about learning loss. I want you to share with us, what is learning loss, and is there a solution to the problem that we're facing today?
Mm-hmm. So my chapter is called No Problem Parenting, or No Problem Rebounding Your Kids from Lockdown Learning Loss. So learning loss is a real thing. We want to admit it or not. But the problem is we are not focusing on it. It's not like I want to, put a focus on something that's negative, but it is a real thing, because I work with so many students on one-on-one basis. So when they come to me, their knowledge in the subject, especially English, reading, writing, these are foundational skills they need to have. There is, if they were 2 years behind last year, if they haven't picked up those skills yet, now they're 3 to 4 years behind. So it actually compounds the loss. So we do really need to pay attention to this problem. And I think a lot of schools are not doing that right now. We're just passing students on as if nothing has happened. Those students who were in kindergarten, grade 1, they never even experienced real classroom. So when they are now in the classroom, they're grade 2s or grade 3s. When the COVID was over, they needed to learn how to be a classroom member first. Their social, emotional skills. They need to, learn how to be with others. Let alone
Right.
now they're expected to read and write, because they're in grade 2 and 3 now.
That's fascinating right there, because if you think about it, I mean, just like the learning loss that happens during a summer break. So this learning loss has been something that's been around probably since the beginning of time, especially if kids didn't keep going with schooling during summer, because there's always going to be that learning loss anyway. And then when they start back to a new school year, it's like, okay, we got to kind of regurgitate what you learned previously so we can catch you up to speed. But learning loss from 3 years, I mean, that's just vast and wide. And like you mentioned, a child who was starting school as kindergartner at the beginning of COVID, who is now a second grader, that imagine what they missed out on learning all that whole time. How can our education system just push them through? I mean, they're just I'm blown away by the thought of this. I'm not in the education system. So to hear this, it's just appalling to me that they wouldn't just have them all start at the beginning. Why not?
Yep. And reintroduce them to the classroom, take time to reintroduce, and social skills, right? Even adults, right? I think it's sometimes you can see in social situations, they're even struggling after
Yeah.
COVID to reintroduce themselves back into the society in person, right? So
Yeah, I experienced that myself, because, I'm what's called a shy extrovert. So when I'm in an environment, you would have no idea that I was shy approaching. But approaching the environment, I'm a shy person, and I've learned how to break through that. And so it's something I worked really hard on learning to do. But prior to that, I can't imagine if I was still as shy as I used to be. And then after COVID, I probably just would never leave my house. But now I was I crave that environment and I want to be around it. But like you said, I started thinking, I guess I'll just never go to any more events ever again. Something I love doing, but because I don't have to.
yes.
Children need to have that. It's like socialization skills. We humans need to have those socialization skills. And so what's the solution to this problem out there? Is there a solution? Let me start with that. Is there a solution
Of
to this
course.
problem?
Yeah, every problem has a solution, or problems have solutions always. It's parents have to really pay attention to their where their children are or child is, because a lot of the time we like to go with the milestones. My child is in grade 2, he or she has to learn or read at this level. We have to drop our expectations as parents, because we need to admit to ourselves first there's a problem, right? So those milestones are not going to happen, and that's okay. But pushing a child through as if they need to be there, we're just going to frustrate our kids, right? So you don't want to we don't want to frustrate them, because we already know they're there, and the school system is not doing anything about it. That's the problem. That's a big problem, because they're not addressing it. They want to do the standardized testing no matter what. They're pushed through to write it. So when a child repeatedly fails those, they're going to be defeated, right?
Yeah,
So we have to address
definitely.
that home. Parents
Yeah,
have
so it brings up a question about during COVID, there were some people who maybe they were able to homeschool because they had they themselves, maybe they had the skills to be able to homeschool and do a good job. But then there's all the other people that don't have that. And so what's created is this vast divide, right? And so it's kind of like, these people who have this ability are going to be successful or potentially be more successful than the people who don't have that ability to do that. So the divide is just getting wider. What's the solution, Kohila? Because I know you're really deep into this subject. What's a solution to bridge that gap? And how long is it going to take to get there?
Yeah. As parents, we have to talk or voice our concerns to the school system. I think parents have to start voicing it, asking and demanding that they should not push their kids push forward to the next grade, because it's not about getting to the finish line. What's the point of getting to grade 12 now? You can't still read or write. How is that going to be helpful to any child, right? It's just pushing them through the system. It's just babysitting at school. So I think really they have to speak up. Parents have the power. I mean, I've been in the school system. They really have power, but they have to speak up. And then when they start speaking up, teachers have to speak up along with the parents and say, we can't teach these kids. They're 2 years behind. You're telling me to teach them like up here, but these kids are over here. Like, teachers can't do their job. That's why a lot of teachers are so dissatisfied, because they know from their heart, I can't do this job. There's a big gap between what I'm trying to teach and where they're. And then add the phone and all the distraction, where our mind is so distracted. Even us are adults, right? We have so much.
Yeah.
Attention span is like this for every one of us.
Right,
So,
exactly.
so add that on top of it. And then we also have curriculums from so many years ago, which most of our students don't find it interesting or relevant.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a multiple layers to this problem, right? So, but for as parents listening to this interview, it's about time that they speak up, they ask for more help, they tell them to slow down, throw out the curriculum, start where my child is or my children are. It has to be, otherwise we're just pushing kids through and they are going to not succeed.
Yeah, and then you'll have those kids who are currently maybe the 5-year-olds that are starting that kindergarten, who are going to be above, what do you call, I guess, educationally speaking, are going to be above those who are in second grade. So then that's going to create some sort of there's going to be just like a lot of mental backlash, I think, from this whole situation. And the education system isn't really looking at it from the overall picture. They're just, like you said, they're just trying to get them through. Let's get them done by age 18. Maybe those kids just don't graduate till they're 20, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah, or just slowing it down. Sometimes kids pick up when you just address the problem. They can pick up really fast. It's 2 years, but if you slow down and actually address the real problem, they can. You don't need an year to pick it up. You might do it in 6 months, 3 months, because you're giving what they need at this moment, right? But if you add higher level stuff, it's not even, they can't comprehend. They're going to tune you out, they're going to shut you down. And then why is all the classrooms having so many problems with behaviors? Because when a child shuts down, they don't want to be in the classroom. Now you're forcing somebody to sit and listen to you. So that's where the behavior starts showing up. and then teachers
Right.
have to
Oh
deal
man.
with it.
Yeah. I mean, there's just this is a big problem that it's been a big problem for many, many years anyway, like you
Before too.
mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before COVID. So BC, before COVID. So after COVID, it just like compiled onto the problem. So we're talking about the book, No Problem Parenting. No Problem Parenting, Resources and Stories that Create Confidence and Connection. You can get your copy at actiontakerspublishing.com/NPP. Also, while you're there, a lot of our authors have given free gifts. So please go over there, cash in on their free gifts. And Kohila, you've given a free gift. Do you remember what your free gift is?
Yeah, we have a clarity coaching call for any parents, who are feeling like, is my child, sometimes parents don't know if their child is behind. That's another thing, right? We don't know, because if you don't know the curriculum, if you don't know what really happened, I mean, if you have a busy life, you're not going to really know if your child's struggling. If you ask any child, they're like, yeah, I'm doing okay, right?
Right,
quick
right.
quick answer, right? So for that, I have I'm giving a clarity coaching call, which is 45-minute call with one of our certified learning success coaches, who are not only certified in the meta learning DeStress method, brain science methodology, but also they're teachers who are leaving the system to help parents in a more meaningful way. So there's not better people you can talk to than those teachers. And then I am certifying. So that's a 45-minute free coaching call for them. But also we have right now, because this back to school special, it's a good timing to launch this book. We do an assessment, a holistic assessment with all of our students that we take on. So it's usually 850. We have $400 off of that as well. So the $400 voucher or coupon for that.
Oh, that's awesome. And you can go to our website to connect with Kohila. Go to actiontakerspublishing.com/NPP to get your free gift over there. And then if you want that assessment, they would just go to learningsuccessacademy.com. Is that correct?
Yeah. When they book the call, we'll give them the gift. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Go to learningsuccessacademy.com to connect with Kohila. Oh my gosh. I can't believe that time just flew by. Oh my gosh. This is such a big problem that I have like probably a good 10 hours of questions. We don't have that much time for this though. So Kohila, why don't you share with us, like, what is it that you would like the readers to take away from reading this book and or reading your chapter?
I think you asked me earlier, is there a solution? One of the things that helped me to move past where I was, struggling in my life, was that everything has a solution, right? You just have to look for it. You have to spend time with it. It's Albert Einstein quote, right? It's not that I'm smart, I just stay with my problems longer. So for parents, what I offered in the chapter was that this is a problem that can be fixed. You don't have to label your children as they're delayed or they're behind or they can't catch up, because then it's all labels, right? And we don't want to do that to our children. We want to make it as even though it's as negative as it is, we want to make it as positive. We want the light and the energy to be as positive as it is, right? It can be fixed. As I said, it's not like, even if they're 4 years behind, it's not going to take someone 4 years to fill in that gap if you're with the right people who knows how to do those filling in the gap and bringing your child up to speed. So what it takes is a person to understand the child and to connect with them. That's why in our program we never offer content first with any children, right? We always start with the connection and care, because every child wants to know that there's a space, a safe space for them to open up and share. And that's when they share all of their gaps and all of their needs. And when you can find what is missing and you can give them those, and they fill in very quickly because they are empowered.
Yeah.
So as parents, it's possible to rebound from this learning loss. It just like we are now back into the normal world again, right? Like, it's possible. So that's my chapter, is all about giving you tips and strategies on how you can notice your child has this gap. Is first is acceptance, then what do we do next to fix this?
I love it. Yeah, go get your copy again, actiontakerspublishing.com/NPP. Read Kohila's chapter, read all the other chapters in the book as well. Go cash in on those free gifts, and there is hope for your child. Kohila, thank you so much for being here and for the work that you do to make a greater impact on the planet. You're doing some really great work for children and for parents out there, empowering them with the tools that they need in order to have that success that they're looking for. So thank you so much, and keep going, girl. You're amazing.
Thank you so much for having me.
Hi, I'm Debbie Allen, and I just had an amazing opportunity working with Linda. She really knows publishing, and this is a big thing coming from me because I've written now 10 books. She helped me with my 10th book. I've been working with major publishers and had all kinds of amazing opportunities, but I wanted to get this book done fast, and I wanted to work with somebody that could publish it for me, do a hybrid publishing. And I just thought, okay, I'll take a chance on Linda, let's get it done. And she walked me through this process so easily. It was such a joy. And here is the big deal. I have been a professional expert in marketing and books for over 20 years, and I learned a lot from Linda. She gave me some great marketing ideas I never even thought of. My book was timely. In fact, it was a month early, and we even made Amazon bestseller before our launch. I can't tell you that she's just an amazing person to work with. She follows up. She gives you more than you're expected, that you expect you're going to get, and you will get a really high quality product, and you'll have a really great time working with Linda. She's a true professional.